Hi everyone, welcome back to the DC Breaks YouTube channel with myself Chris from DC Breaks. Today I'm going to be walking through our brand new phase plant preset pack, volume 2. It's available now, hot off the press from our website dcbreaks.com/shop. There's a link in the description below. If you want to go and grab it right now you can. If you want to hear what it sounds like, stick around as I'm going to be walking through the 30 odd presets to give you a flavour of what it sounds like. So I designed the pack to really take advantage of some of the new features in phase plant, such as the new Granular engine. So it's a really varied pack. There's lots of basses in there, lots of lead sounds, really kind of aimed at drum and bass or EDM or kind of other genres like that. There's also some really interesting randomized sound design type of presets in there as well for some variation. And as always, every single preset has loads of macros set up so that you can really customize the sound and tweak it and get different sounds and original sounds for using in your project. So let's jump on in and hear how it sounds. So the first one, first of all, there's like 31. I don't know why I did 31. I usually do 30, but there's 30 presets in the pack. Mixture of kind of leads, basses, there's some cool pads and some interesting stuff in there as well. So some really usable stuff and some kind of more experimental stuff as well to get some really original sounds. So the first one is just a really nice chunky 808 kind of style bass that I've made. So brilliant for drum and bass. All the macros with all my presets, I always like to kind of tune those up so you can get a lot of variation within one preset. You might need a subwoofer to fully appreciate the low end on that one. You can make it into kind of like a warbly sort of whompy bass instead. And yeah, just like you can kind of control the saturation, put in dispersion, you can get that kind of zappy feel to it. So yeah, quite a lot you can do that, and just a good meaty utility sub. Let's check out this one, bass bath. Kind of the brightness, that kind of extra grainy layer with the texture one there. And then the mod wheel gives you some different kind of variations as well. It's quite a chunky sort of foghorn. Chaz. It's more of a kind of EDM screech. Let's try the mod wheel. Pretty cool. Okay, cluster. So kind of a nice sort of Reese phasey thing. Put in some pitch effects into it as well. So this would be really good for like kind of creating a crazy little Reese fill at the end of a section. Dave. So this kind of is like quite similar to the Chaz one, but just with kind of different sort of texture to it. Bit more D&B, less kind of EDM vibes. And if you get rid of the Yelp, you can kind of just make it into a bass. Get the idea. This is a dirty 303, so similar to the 808 preset, it's based around a 303, and yeah, it's just a really good solid utility bass to have. Quite sort of Dillingery. FedEx, this is like a lead. So I'm just holding down one note, and then there's different patterns that you can choose. Just try a different one. Just realised my project's at 120, which is why it sounds a bit weird. So anyway, you can get some instant kind of inspiration for some different kind of patterns for that. Let's play around with some of the macros. So what I often do is create the 8 different macros, so you've got the flexibility to tweak different aspects of the sound, but then create like almost like a global effects control on the mod wheel that controls a number of the macros altogether. And in this case, you can see the warp macro is being controlled by an LFO, and those kind of combinations lead to some really interesting sound design possibilities. Of course, you don't have to hold the note down. You could do that as well. Okay, Gloop. So yeah, this is another kind of EDM, dubsteppy, trench sort of like weird sound. And again, you can kind of change the rhythm to get some kind of interesting patterns. You can control the sub level here, might be a bit low actually. And to what extent the sub kind of follows whatever groove you give it. So you should be able to hear there the sub kind of pumping in and out, and that's because this has been controlled by an audio follower, which is like picking up the audio level of whatever pattern you're making and then uses that to control the sub layer underneath it. And there's this blender thing that just kind of washes it all out. Hammer Horror. Okay, so this is basically like an inspiration type of preset in that it creates eerie sounding chords like randomly, and you can control how randomly using the mod wheel. So if I just press like any random note here. Okay, press the same note again. And you can see as I'm doing that, I'm getting different kind of combinations of macros. So if I bring the mod wheel all the way down, it's creating a lot more randomness. And then if I put it all the way up, it gets rid of it. So this is quite a cool way of just like maybe hitting record in your DAW and recording some kind of creative pads that you can then use in a tune. That's a nice one, a low one. Okay, harmony. This is just like a big fat lead bass. And of course we can now tweak this up. Let's give it some frequency modulation beating kind of effect. So depending on what note you have, you might want to sort of tweak that parameter a little bit. And kind of control the screechiness with the sync mod. Add in sort of this harmonic layer. So if you just want the kind of low end. So it's like a big fat bass, but then you can also add in that, which is really sick. Distortion control there. Let's try the mod wheel. I think this does like a crazy riser. Yeah, I put it in the description there. So when you've kind of made your bass pattern and you're building into your drop, you can just very easily just come in here. And then you could customize all this stuff as well, like. Yeah, it's a squelch, kind of gives it that whack. So loads of fun to be had with that one. Headaches. It's like a kind of jump up lead. Okay, so this one's quite extreme. Let's try the mod wheel. So a slightly ringier, a slightly sort of more metallic fat one down there. Hostile environment. Okay, so this is like I called it a sci-fi soundscape designer, and this takes advantage of some of Faceplant's new features, namely the Granular module, which is like really powerful. So let's just hit play, and then I'll show you what the macros can be used for to kind of create this sort of sci-fi soundscape. Ooh, let's come up an octave or two. So I'm just holding down one note now. So you can hear that melody. That's on that macro there. Amount of reverb there. Kind of make it more pushed. You can hear that saw layer going up. Let's try this more granular. Space corruption. So that's pretty nice. Okay, I see you. Nice big fat, it's kind of, you can use it in drum bass or dubstep or whatever really, this one. A nice global effects on the mod wheel again, that kind of alarm sound. Distortion, let's try the rhythm. Pretty cool. Leeds United. So yeah, I think I was going for a kind of deadmau5 vibe with this one. So get that kind of trance gate on the mod wheel. So you can write your big lead kind of part and then use these to kind of create different sections in the tune. Make it really slurry. Okay, Microbe. So I was going for a kind of Ed Russian optical vibe with this one, I guess. So again, just holding down the one note, and it's got that kind of pitch modulation built into it. Let's try the mod wheel. So mod wheel controls the rate of that oscillation. If you didn't like that oscillation, you could just turn that off and kind of create your own. Because these are, you know, great starting points. They sound great, but you can of course tweak them up to suit whatever it is you want to do. Let's try this one, Outer Space. So yeah, this is kind of a Prodigy-esque rave stab lead. So this actually uses the Granular. So it's kind of like chords using the Granular, and then each chord is kind of, or each sort of layer, if you like, is also then playing multiple sort of positions within that sound. And it kind of creates that orchestral stab feel. So it's kind of like a, yeah, like a recreation of that classic sound, essentially. So, and we can kind of tweak it around a bit as well. Let's try the mod wheel. So it makes it kind of a bit more minor. Change the length. You want to make it really short. Add some zap. Oldify, this kind of, I can't remember what this actually does in terms of, I think it just adds a kind of modulation, a pitch modulation. Just changes the sort of timbre of it, I guess. You can control the sub and the reverb and this kind of portamento-y type of effect. Okay, Phobos. Can't remember what this one is. Oh yeah. So if you don't like that yelp, you can just take that out with the mod wheel. And that also makes it into a kind of more of a lead. Let's try down an octave. Vibrato as well. Pretty cool. Pump house. Yes, this is very much an EDM dubstep style thing. So maybe we should switch to like 140. So the mod wheel kind of plays around with the position of this loop, and that can create some interesting kind of patterns. Let's change the sound a bit. Let's try this pumping effect. Some of these macros may not sound like they're doing anything, and that's sometimes because they're not, because they need other macros doing things in order for them to work. So, yeah. So that one, for example, wasn't doing anything before. We can now hear it kind of changing the pumpingness of it. Okay, gone a bit weird there. Some of the macros can be a little bit messy if you kind of go extreme with it. But yeah, straight out of the box, it sounds good. Okay, random kick generator. So again, trying to use randomness to get some inspiration. So that the mod wheel sort of controls that randomness. So when it's down, there's no randomness. We just have a nice beefy kick, and you can control like the attack, sustain, transient, the twang, saturation, all these things to kind of tweak that kick up. Let's try to turn on the randomness, and this is going to basically just generate different combinations of macros to give me some different kicks. So I'd need to hit record and kind of record a bunch of those, and then maybe just sort of listen to the ones I like and keep those. Similarly with our snare generator. So we've got a really nice snare there, but we can create different variations of it with the module. Like so. Okay, Raquel Squelch. This is a very squelchy one. So I did say some of them are quite experimental. This is really weird sounding. Get some really cool sounds out of that. Okay, retro fun. So this is, as it suggests, a kind of retro generating sound machine. Okay, so that's FX1. So the way this works is you just need to like turn on the ones that you want to use. A bit too much reverb on here. Let's listen to Cave. You might recognize this. Again, a little bit slow. 8-bit beat. So FX3 is a kind of classic old school 8-bit sort of explosion sound. So this is like a random computer game melody generator. So I'm just going to press like a random note. And every time I press a note, it's going to give me a new random 8-bit melody. So yeah, just a bit of fun really, that preset. Okay, Ripley's Nightmare. So this is another sci-fi soundscape designer. Let's have a listen to it. So just holding down the one note again. Sounds very menacing. So yeah, the melody, which was that kind of like fluty sound, is actually using the granular and then using it to trigger different pitches of that same sample. Which layer is it? Can't remember exactly. Oh yeah, so here we can hear it. I forget which one it is exactly now. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Let's try some of the other macros. Creeping Gnarl. So yeah, a lot you can do with that. Slapper, lead bass. So really good utility, plucky bass that you can fully tweak up. The original Reese bass. Okay, so this is just made up of the relevant and relative layers of the fundamental of a Reese bass. So there's no sample involved in here, but it is pretty much identical to the original Reese bass. So that's pretty sweet. Okay, triple bass. So this one's based on like some double bass samples. You can probably now hear, now I've told you. But it's got loads of kind of gnarly distortion and sort of FM in it. So you can add in the scream layer. And yeah, the mod wheel will generate random combinations to make some interesting new sounds. Incidentally, when you do this, if you get one that you like, you can just save it, turn the mod wheel off, and then you will have that combination saved as a different sound. Get some really cool textures out of that one. Tunnox. So kind of flangey Reese type thing. Let's try the mod wheel. Sort of a dead limity type thing. Add in some extra grunge. Okay, next one's called Wallop. Let's try the mod wheel. So you can kind of change the wallop on it. So lots of different textures you can get out of that, around that theme. Yelpa. So kind of jump up lead. Try the mod wheel. Also kind of works as a bass. Again, lots of different combinations. And Zika, I think this is the last one. So another nice big chunky stab. And we can use the mod wheel for kind of variations. Have it kind of clean or dirty. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to grab the pack, it's out now at dcbreaks.com/shop. There's a link in the description below. If you want to be the first to know when we drop new products and videos like this, hit that subscribe button. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.